Hello everyone and welcome, this is Common and Cam. Yes, I am back. I know it's been a while since I've done a face video, but I thought I'd do it for this special occasion because, well, we're going to be talking about Transformers Animated Season 4. Yes, at TFNation 2019 there was a presentation of Transformers Animated. It was basically what could have been with Season 4, and they were doing live recordings with voice actors, reading the scripts on what could have been, and a 3-part story. And yeah, we've had a lot of news over the years since Transformers Animated ended on what could we potentially have seen basically in Season 4, even in the Allspark Almanac Book 2. We got little glimpses, a little bit of details. We had episode plot ideas of what we could have seen, like Sentinel Magnus and Optimus Prime, Team Prime with Ironhide and Ratchet, Jazz joining the team, obviously following the death of Prowl, like how would that have played out afterwards, and Sari and Bulkhead forming a much stronger friendship on an Energon farm. Because Transformers Animated gets so much love, like that show, it's not dying off anytime soon. It's basically the show that we really did want to see what happened next, and just unfortunately Cartoon Network Hasbro, it just finished, it just ended. And it really hit a lot of people's hearts, especially for me, especially like Endgame. It was a good send-off for the series, like finally a lot of character arcs have been completed in that. There was still so much more that we could have explored, and I think Season 4 by just with the teasers, and well with this audio drama that we've got at TFNation, it could have just been so much more epic. So the premiere of the Transformers Animated Season 4 would have been the trial of Megatron, and what we have here on TFW 2005 are the many highlights of what happened. So I'm going to go through all of these one by one and talk about, well, what could have happened, because not obviously a lot of people could attend TFNation, so they're missing out on the audio performance and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to highlight some of the main, the key events that have been jotted down on TFW to kind of just picture it in our heads on like, oh god, I wish I was there to watch that. So let's start with the first one. The protoforms are handed over to the Cyber Ninjas and their new sensei, Dire Atlas. I'm glad that Dire Atlas got a lot of love. I remember looking at his design in the Transformers Animated book, and I was just like, oh god, I really want to see this character. So him being a new sensei is very fitting. Also, Sari is not one of the protoforms, she's something else. So they would have expanded on her character a lot more deeper, trying to discover who exactly she is and how special she really is. A wake was held for Prowl. So of course one of the many hard-hitting deaths in Transformers Animated was Prowl. He was a beloved character, had a lot of character development, and his sacrifice at the end of Season 3 really did hit a lot of people, so obviously we're going to continue his character in a way as sort of remembrance. Would have done a big ceremony. We saw him in the casket at the end of Endgame, but obviously give a good celebration, like a speech from the team and everything like that, to kind of talk about how great and heroic of a guy he was for the Cybertronians to know. Ultra Magnus dies and names Optimus Prime as his successor, so I love how it's kind of a flip. In the G1 animated movie, we see Optimus Prime passing the torch to Ultra Magnus. In this series, however, we've got Ultra Magnus passing the torch to Optimus Prime, which was something we all knew were coming along at the end. Optimus Prime would prove himself as a true warrior, as a true leader. Of course, with Ultra Magnus being badly damaged by Shockwave in Season 3, it was like debated if Ultra Magnus is actually going to stay alive or not. Now going on to one of the most hated Transformers Animated characters, Sentinel Prime. What does he do in Season 4? He basically bribes Bumblebee with a spot on the Elite Guard to endorse him as Ultra Magnus' successor. This drives a wedge between him and the rest of the team. So Bumblebee would have gone through a bit of conflicting morals there. He always wanted to be an Elite Guard member, like what was his place, but thankfully towards the end of the story, he reconciles by refusing to follow along with Sentinel's bribery. But that's not it for Sentinel Prime, because Ratchet and other science bots build him a Power Master armor suit. We've already got teased of this already in the Allspark Almanac books. He would have been just pretty much really extreme and really showing off armor, his design, etc. And like we saw in the Allspark Almanac book, Ironhide and Jazz would become official members of Team Prime. And with Omega Supreme has a hard time fitting in on Cybertron as people view him as a weapon of mass destruction, Omega decides to dedicate himself to saving lives. So they really are going with all the characters here. Like in Season 4 it would have touched on every bit of character. No characters would be left in the background. Moving on to the Decepticons, they attack the Energon farm that Bulkhead came from. Obsidian leads the attack. A later raid sees Team Prime and Bumblebee fight Stryker's Team Char. Now that was one of the many things I wanted to see more from Transformers Animated was Stryker and obviously Team Char. They were such a great force in the Season 3 opener. Like I just wanted to see more of this. I wanted to see more attacks. I wanted to see more of the character of Stryker. She was one of the main standouts in Beast Machines, and while she carried on through Transformers Animated, at least that character got that. It was good seeing her be a general again, and just seeing how strong the Decepticons are. And getting on to Megatron, well, Sentinel gets played by Megatron. first leading the elite guard on a wild goose chase, then distracting everyone with the public trial. So Megatron would have been manipulating Sentinel, because obviously he's easy to do that. You know, Sentinel is just absolute the worst, so of course Megatron would find a way to get into Sentinel's spark and try and mess around with it and sort of play it to his advantage. Rat Trap, but in the script it's named Rattle Trap, is Megatron's defense attorney. He gets Megatron off on all charges. Now that would have just been the most hilarious and stupidest scene, like with all the things that Megatron has done. And we've got Rattle Trap, not Rat Trap for some reason, but that's essentially who the character was. And of course it would be him, just by the look. Of course he's the kind of person that would defend Megatron, the only kind of Cybertronian that would defend Megatron. So of course with the distractions, what he played with Sentinel Prime and all that lot, of course it makes sense in some way how he'd somehow have an advantage by distracting the Autobots who would be there to tell him all the things that he did on Earth. But then again, there was the Cybertronian, the Great War, so it's kind of like, do they not play a part in it? I think it would have been just hilarious to see how that scene would have played out. And while Megatron launches Trypticon prison into space, we got glimpses of this in the Allspark Almanac books. We would have got an insight into what that would have been like we knew that there were like minicons or something, like sort of patrolling that area, like they were in charge of Trypticon prison. Like we saw characters like Leader 1, play a big part in that. Of course, the minicon very much resembling Leader 1 from Transformers Armada. Optimus, using a Power Master armor, leads his team with Omega Supreme in pursuit. Bulkhead stays behind on Cybertron to fix the damage Trypticon launching caused. So think like in the Fall of Cybertron scene when we saw Trypticon kind of form into the Nemesis a little bit. It kind of would have played out like that, except we would have seen the damage of it, because obviously it was a massive station. We have Omega versus Trypticon, but it leads to Omega being badly damaged and remaining in his ship mode. Optimus Prime and his crew, minus Ratchet, break into Trypticon prison and knock the Rocket City's power offline by overloading the power grid, and Megatron throws his soldiers into the city's rector in a desperate bid to keep the prison powered. And well, Lugnut jumps in willingly, and if that's how Lugnut goes out, if that's how it would have played out in Season 4, I think that would have been hilarious and actually kind of fit in. Like, of course Lugnut would do that. He would kill himself for Megatron. That's how loyal he is. He'd throw himself in the Rector just to help out Megatron. So yeah, a good end for Lugnut, I would say. A funny one at best. I can imagine the laughs that played off during TFNation. People just like laughing hysterically. Like, of course Lugnut would do that. After a showdown with Optimus Prime, Trypticon prison crash lands on Earth, landing on top of Dinobot Island. So even the Dinobots can't have a moment's peace with Trypticon just landing straight there. But it shows you how massive that is as well, to land on Dinobot Island. And yeah, that's it. Huge thanks to TFNation, the crew, for organising the event. It's good that Mari Eisenberg and the voice cast were there to just kind of show the fans of what could have been, and how unfortunate it is still that we didn't get to see Season 4. There could have been so much that could have happened, so much we could have seen, so much to have been remembered if we saw it in animated form to see what will play out. But at least they're doing this, at least they got all the voice cast together to kind of give the fans this kind of good conclusion, this good premiere. Who knows if we'll get more Transformers Animated Season 4 details in the future. I doubt it will ever come back to television, unfortunately. It's just the way how Hasbro is, how the Transformers changes keeps on moving. They don't necessarily tend to go back to old series. They just kind of like, they finish and that's it, they move on. It's just how the process is. It's unfortunate, some people beg Netflix to pick it up, but stuff like that, it's just unfortunate. I don't see it possibly happening. Who knows? We could always be surprised. Probably no one would have expected that TFNation would host this event with Mari Eisenberg and the voice crew to kind of like get back fans that send off. So who knows? There's a lot of possibilities that could happen with Transformers Animated Season 4 and Transformers Animated in general in the future. But at least we got this. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. How did you feel? Are you still disappointed that we didn't get a Season 4? I know I've talked about Season 4 quite a bit on my channel in the past, and talking about what could have been, and well, this is possibly the last update we're going to get on it for a long time, unless anything else comes up in the future. But yeah, it's been really great reading all of this. It's just picturing in my head like this. I'm going to go to sleep tonight and just kind of think about that, like, you know what, just if only. Anyway guys, this has been Common and Cam. If you've enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on that notification bell to get all updates instantly. Until the next video guys, this has been Common and Cam, and goodbye.